Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the live. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Thank you for joining. I just decided to celebrate Halloween. It would be nice to do a bit of a live. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to do a reading for you today. If you don't know, my name is Leona. I'm an Akashic Records reader. And so you can hear me great. Awesome. Thank you, Morgan, for confirming that. That's good to hear. Normally, I would like to use my phone, but it seems I can't go live on my phone on YouTube, sadly. And my phone only is the only device that has the best camera. So we'll have to use my blurry, not the greatest laptop camera, but it's all good. Where are you all coming in from? I love to hear where everyone's from. It's interesting because I'm Canadian and I mostly see a lot of Americans pop in, which is cool because yeah, I don't know. A lot of my clients are American. I think I have one Canadian client. So America has a piece of my heart. Minnesota, lovely. Oh, so what time is it over there? It must be a bit later. It's 11 a.m. for me. I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, on the west coast, and it's very rainy. We're known to have a lot of rain, and it's 1 p.m. Okay, nice. Do you have any Halloween plans? Is anyone dressing up? I'm curious if anyone has any costumes on. I was considering it, but I have nowhere to go. I have no plans for Halloween, and like I'm a little on the older side. I only have my only child is my dog, my fur baby child, and so we're not going trick or treating. So I have no reason to dress up. Um, your daughter will be going out as a puppy. That's so sweet. You'll be going out as a tired mom. That is so funny. I love that. Um, so I would love to do a reading. What I like to clarify for people is that the more specific your question, the better. It's just helpful for me to just tap into the intent of your question. So if you ask things that are a little bit on the vague side, like what's next for me, that's something some people often say, and that's a little too vague for the Akashic records. You can think of it as the Akashic records is sort of Google, the etheric Google, and I'm your search bar. So you wouldn't just go up to your search bar and search what's next for me. You'd want to be a bit more specific, if that makes sense. So just be specific with your question, and I would love to answer any questions that you have, and put them in the chat. And let me know where you're coming from as well, and what your costume is today if you are dressing up. Um, and I'd love to hear from you. I feel bad if anyone's experiencing bad weather today, especially if you're trick or treating, because yeah, everybody in my city is gonna have to do trick or treating out in the pouring rain, and I just could not imagine, especially if there's other tired moms out there, how that might impact your day, how much more tired that would make you. It would be brutal trick or treating in my town today. Put your messages in the chat. Any questions you would like me to ask to tap into your record so I can channel you your information. Morgan, thank you for your question. You're saying you'd love to know if you're meant to continue developing psychic mediumship abilities, if that's the right path for you, or should you develop them more, if that's the right path for me, or what you should do to develop them more, what you should do to develop them more. Okay, I'm meant to continue. Okay, makes sense. Let me just check with that. So when I tap into your energy, they're showing me that the psychic abilities that you have are pretty, they've been around. Like this is like easy for you, let me just put it that way. This psychic ability that you have, they're showing me this light that comes out from the top of your head. You receive a lot of downloads psychically. I'm feeling it's like the strongest way that you receive information. There's also this feeling that you might not connect that ability to being psychic. I feel that there might be a different experience psychically that you're wanting to receive. Like you want to receive information in a way that you think would be more psychic, if that makes sense. But they want to highlight your ability to download information, to channel basically, as being your strongest psychic gift and the psychic gift that you've been using your whole entire life. The way that they describe it is that your crown chakra is kind of this open bowl that like receives information, and it it's so automatic for you that the decisions that you make in life, the steps that you take, the even in a day to day, you utilize this sort of like channeling your higher self component often to receive information. So how it works, psychic, I will move on to mediumship as well, but they want to highlight that you are very psychically gifted. Um, and they also want to say that the way that it presents, like the way that you're able to read other people, comes in the same way. So it helps when you look into people's eyes, if you're reading other people, to look into their eyes, and your first sort of download of information that comes up, that is the best way for you to psychically read people. It's something that you do already to kind of, and it, I think it comes off as like your, say you're meeting someone, you look them in the eye, shake them their hand, whatever the situation is, and you have an impression of them. The impression that you have of them is due based on this download of information you received about them that you've read from them, if that makes sense. A lot of your psychic gifts are happening organically that you might not even recognize are psychic gifts. You're saying makes sense. You feel like you're making things up, but it's probably channeled, very much so. You also need to trust what you get immediately rather than second guessing. So that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Because that's the strongest way that you channel. And so, with that said, they are highlighting. I think that this is connected to what you could practice, and also mediumship in general. Is that on a mediumship, what your medium, to develop your mediumship is to also develop your clairsentient, your clairsentience, your ability to feel energy around you, feel spirits around you. And that practice requires a lot more sitting in silence. And so that's the best way that you can continue to develop your spiritual gifts through mediumship. Let me just see what's the best way to. So the thing about mediumship that they want to that they want you to work on, and that they want you to know about, is that you'll get pieces of information through the energies that are around you, or the energies that come to you, and you have to put them together. And so it's not coming through as like clear information necessarily. It comes through as pieces of information that you'll then need to piece together. And so you said clairsentience is your weakest clair. You also need to be better about meditating. Yeah. So there's a practice called sitting in the power. And the way that they're showing it to me, if you do this practice, give it 6 days in a row. For whatever reason, this is the number they're giving me, 6 days in a row of sitting in the power. If you're not familiar with that style of meditation, it's a little different than regular meditation. It's building your light, building your light, building your light until you're enveloped in your own light. And then you sit enveloped in your own light. It's a visualization. And then feel the energies around you. Call in your spirit guides and ask them to communicate to you. And you can practice what you see. I feel like you'll see a little bit more, and you'll get like information. um Again, downloading information is your strongest gift. So you don't want to question it. It comes in as like information. But I understand that it happens in your mind. So you also have a mind that thinks thoughts. So it can be kind of confusing. But just sit in the power 6 days in a row. That's going to really increase your clairsentience. It's also going to allow you to feel the energies around you, but practice receiving in different ways, because I feel like your guides are open to just providing you information in different ways through that practice. So just keep at it, but also you don't want to discount the gifts that you already have, because they're these your ability to just have a knowing, I guess that's claircognizance, is your strongest gift. So definitely don't question it. The way it shows up for you is like you have a thought, and your thought is much louder than your claircognizance. So it's like it's quieter. That's kind of how you'll know it's not a thought, it's a download, is that it comes in quieter, which probably makes it more challenging to discern what's what, but they're saying that's the best way for you to discern. It comes in quieter than your mental thoughts. So your mental thoughts will be very loud and persistent. Your claircognizance downloads will be quieter and immediate, if that makes sense. So hopefully that practice helps for you. So we had a few people in the chat, but it looks like everybody is popped out. So normally I do my live readings in the evening, but I thought I'd do a random sort of morning, midday, see how that goes. Morning for me, I guess afternoon for some. Perhaps that's not the most opportune time for everybody, but I will give it a couple more minutes. If anyone has any other questions, or if there are some follow-up questions that anyone wants to ask, feel free. But if not, we can keep it short today, because I'm sure people are quite busy. Morgan said, helpful, thank you. You'll definitely try the 6 days in a row. Your question is, do I have any recommendations for starting to access the Akashic records? Yeah, I think that with practicing mediumship, here's my experience. I had a mentor who was teaching me mediumship, and so I started developing as a medium. And then what happened was I was starting to do readings with people, and I found that my readings ended up becoming information about people's lives and information about people who weren't past. And so I ended up tapping into the Akashic records by accident, and not understanding it because I didn't know what the Akashic records were at the time. And so, but what I would do to accidentally tap into the Akashic records is something that I do now, is that a meditation of white light coming from, the higher realms, channeling white light all the way down. So it feeds into your crown chakra, into your third eye, into your throat, heart, all the way down to your feet, and then out of your feet down into the center of the earth. And you want to sit in that practice. And there are some formal opening mantras that you can say to access your Akashic records. But honestly, I would say it has a lot to do with intent. So you could try maybe just Googling a good opening prayer, or you could even say, my goal is to unlock my Akashic records. I unlock my Akashic records now. Something like that when you're feeling enveloped in this light. And then see what you feel. I feel like, especially for you as somebody who channels, someone who has this ability to download information. I'm the same way. And so Akashic Records is more suitable for people who have that ability already, that gift already. So You could look it up, a good opening mantra. I would say when you're first starting, it's easier to write than to speak, if that makes sense. So you can start enveloping yourself in white light, grounding into the center of the earth, and then open up your Akashic records with any kind of opening prayer that you've Googled or that you just say out loud with a strong intent. And then just start writing. You want to write a question at the top of your page about your life, maybe something general like, what do I need to know right now? And then just start writing what comes up. And don't worry about spelling errors. Don't worry about, how nice your writing looks or how neat it is. Just write and write and write and write, and really try to like take a step back and don't do a lot of thinking, and just sort of write. The best way to start this channeled writing session is just to put your pen to paper and just start writing a letter. It doesn't have to be any particular letter. For some reason, when you initiate writing something on the page, that's when the channeling starts. It's kind of like it meets you halfway. So envelop yourself in light, opening mantra, start writing, write a question, start writing. And that's the best way to tap into your own records, I think. I'm working on actually a program to help people learn how to open their own records, but that probably won't come. I probably won't be done with that until, maybe in 6 months to a year. So not quite there, but I'll keep you in mind to let you know when I open it up. And I think it'll be a lot more in depth than what I'm telling you right now. So you haven't heard of writing when channeling the Akashic records, but you'll try. No problem. You make it sound less complicated than others. Yeah, it really is less complicated than others. And I've kind of looked at other people's teachings. And one thing that I've noticed with a lot of teachings, not everybody, and I did have a mentor for my Akashic records, and I would say she's not quite like that, but a lot of people kind of create rules and a lot more structure than I think is necessary with the Akashic records. Your ability to channel information about yourself is your given right. It's your birthright. It's your information. There's no reason why there needs to be all these checks and balances for you to access it. But I feel that a lot of practitioners create more checks and balances than necessary. So I think it is much more easier than has been laid out in the past. So that's why my goal is to create a program so people can access. Reading others is a little bit different. However, I still think it's quite easy as well. Over time, there's ways to practice. So my goal is to create like a cohort so people can practice on each other, but I'm not quite there yet. But yeah, definitely give it a try. And again, it's your information. It's your ancient wisdom. It's yours. It's your birthright to access it. So it is much easier than people make it seem. So hopefully that works for you. So if there's any other questions, I'm happy to read for anybody else. I know the number of the chat sort of varies throughout this session. But I'm also happy to answer questions from you, Morgan, if you're still here as well. I'm giving myself an extra hour of time just to at least half hour. So, I have a good 15 minutes to 30 minutes live to read for people. So, it is tricky on a busy day with, I'm sure, a lot of logistics. People are running around trying to get their Halloween stuff together, and it's a busy weekend. Sadly, I have nothing to do today, so I'm free to read. I have no plans today. I've become quite the homebody these days. So, you said, Morgan, I'll send out your link to a few friends to see if they want to come and join. Awesome. That's great. I'll probably do another reading, live reading. I try to stick to kind of random, like, times that are maybe the full moon, the new moon, Halloween, things like that. So my next one will be probably the full moon in November. So yes, that will be my my goal, but it's kind of inconsistent. And then just keep in mind in December, it's my birthday in December, December 4th. So I plan to do a live then. And I also will have a lot of prizes and just giveaways and things like that. I want to kind of celebrate on December 4th. So I'll do a live reading then with some giveaways. I have a new package. It's a session. It's the forecast for 2026 right now. And so, for anybody looking for information on their year ahead, I am opening up my record or opening up my booking for it's like a 2 hour session. We'll sit virtually. You go over some of your hopes and dreams for 2026, and then I'll tap into the energy and we'll go over either month by month or quarter by quarter what are opportune times, what you can expect, money, career, information, romance, personal development, wellness, spiritual development, whatever you're interested in. So on December 4th, I'm going to do a giveaway, a free reading for that. So keep an eye out for that, and I'll have more information about that later. But well, I think it was short and sweet, which I love. So I might just call it now, and then I can eat lunch. But thank you, Morgan, for joining in. It was lovely to read you. And keep an eye out for other readings. And thank you so much for your help and guidance. Absolutely, no worries. And thank you for joining. And I'll see you soon. Bye.